Okay, so now we're up to chapter 4. And if you remember, at the end of chapter 3, Kirsten met up again with Marta, and their families were back together again. So chapter 4 is called A Sad Journey. Kirsten liked the Mississippi River boat the moment she saw it. It was white, with a pair of wings painted in bright red on the sides. The boat was named the Red Wing, like the red-winged blackbirds that called to one another along the riverbank. The Red Wing had broad decks and a big paddle wheel. And there's a little picture of the paddle boat right there. Right away, Kirsten wanted to run upstairs to the wide upper deck. She grabbed Marta's hand, ducked under a rope, and skipped up the steps. But before they were to the top step, a sailor stopped them. They didn't understand his words, but they knew his gesture meant get down. That evening, as they ate their meal of dried pork and bread, Kirsten asked Papa, "Why can't we go up on the big deck? No one is out there." "That deck is for rich people," Papa said. "If we paid more money, could we go up there?" asked Kirsten. Papa rubbed his forehead. "We only have a little money left, Kirsten, and when we leave this boat, we'll still have to hire a wagon to reach Olaf's farm." "You've managed our money well," Mama said to Papa. To Kirsten, she said crossly, "Don't ask for so much." Kirsten was surprised. Mama never talked harshly to her. Why was she cross now? Their long trip was almost over. In a few days, they would be at Uncle Olaf's. Kirsten looked closely at her mother. "What's wrong, Mama?" she asked. Mama said softly, "I'm cross because I'm worried. As we boarded the boat, the sailors were burying a passenger who died of cholera." So cholera was a really serious sickness. "Don't worry so," Lars said to Mama. "We won't get sick. Look at us. We're healthy." Lars was right. They were strong from walking beside the wagon on the way to the river and tan from the prairie sun, but Mama didn't smile. "Cholera kills strong ones just like weak ones," she said. "Let's just pray that we get safely to Uncle Olaf's." For 2 days, Kirsten and Marta played together on the riverboat. They watched the hawks circling overhead and counted the fish that jumped from the water. But the third morning, Marta wasn't on the small deck where they were allowed to walk. Marta's father was there, alone. He stood at the railing, staring straight ahead at the wide brown river. "Where is Marta?" Kirsten asked him. "Our Marta's very sick," he said, and he gripped the railing so tightly that his knuckles were white. "With cholera." Oh. Kirsten's head buzzed. Cholera? Last night after supper, Marta had played with her right here on the deck. Last night, Marta was perfectly fine. She couldn't have cholera now. "How can she be sick?" Kirsten asked. "She was well yesterday." During the night, she doubled up with a pain in her belly. Now she aches and moans and burns with a fever. "The captain made us take her to the sick bay," he said. "Can I go see her?" Marta's father took Kirsten's wrist firmly. "No, Kirsten, you mustn't. You could get sick too. Marta's mother is with her. That's all we can do." But Kirsten had to see Marta. She ran down below the decks to the part of the boat called the sick bay. Marta was there, lying on a straw mat near the entrance. Her knees were drawn up to her chest. Her mouth was open as though she couldn't breathe. When her mother tried to wipe her forehead, Marta trembled and moaned. Her lips were dry and cracked, and her eyelids fluttered. "Marta," Kirsten whispered. She took a step toward her friend, but Marta's mother sent her away. "Go back to your family, Kirsten. It's dangerous for you to be here. Marta will get better, you'll see." So there you can see she's kind of peeking. There's Marta and her mom, and Kirsten's peeking in to see her friend. But she is staying back. Kirsten stayed near the sick bay until Mama found her. "I've looked everywhere for you," Mama said. "There's nothing we can do for Marta." Not with cholera. You must take care of yourself, Kirsten. Stay close to me and Papa, please." So Kirsten did stay close to Mama, but her thoughts were with her sick friend. She told herself that Marta would get well, over and over. She said, she must get well. Kirsten wasn't able to eat, and that night she was sure she would never sleep. But she fell into a restless doze. Later she woke up with a start. Something was terribly wrong, but in her sleep she'd forgotten what it could be. Then she remembered Marta. Kirsten ran down to the sick bay. Through the parted curtains, she saw that Marta was gone. She's better, Kirsten thought, and ran up to the deck to find her friend. I don't think she got better. The sun was just rising. The riverboat was anchored at a sandy beach below tall bluffs. A gangplank had been lowered for some sailors who carried a wooden box on their shoulders. Marta's father stood at the railing, his arm around Marta's mother.